Hello everyone, I'm Adele Longley from the School of Social and Political Sciences, and I work on bioethics. So traditionally bioethics has been concerned with research and medical ethics, but more recently bioethicists have started to consider how they might contribute to broader ethical debates, including on climate change. One of the key thinkers in this area is Cheryl Cox Macpherson, and she's actually said that climate change poses the biggest health risk we're facing this century. Now, she said that in 2013, before COVID. But in Macpherson's view, bioethicists have a responsibility to help us understand the societal conditions, the societal values which are hastening climate change. So here's what she's got to say. This is a quote. Bioethics is concerned with objectivity, fairness, morality, responsibility, health and well-being. At the very least, bioethics should inform and facilitate public and policy dialogue about how climate change threatens health and things societies have valued for centuries. Now, Vallas has actually said something similar. Vallas sees bioethicists as particularly well placed to engage in debates around climate change because, he says, unlike scientists, bioethicists have experience in normative analysis. So here's a quote from Vallas from 2015. Climate change's health risks will require contending with immensely difficult concepts, such as individual liberty, local and global justice, economic constraints, and the welfares of various populations. It so happens, says Vallas, that these are concepts with which bioethicists have considerable experience as analysts and communicators. Now, since Macpherson and Vallas published their papers, UNESCO has adopted a Declaration of Ethical Principles in relation to climate change, and that was in 2017. This declaration isn't intended to usurp pre-existing international legislation, so the preamble actually states that the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change and the Paris Agreement remain the primary multilateral forums in the global effort to respond to climate change. But UNESCO is convinced that this response must be informed by ethical principles. So what does the declaration say? Well, it's built on the ethical principles of equity and justice, solidarity and prevention of harm. And in terms of how those should be implemented, the declaration states that states and other actors should act to mitigate and adapt to climate change, should encourage public awareness and participation, should manage resources equitably, should assist vulnerable populations, and should share knowledge and technological advances equitably. And all of that should be done through international cooperation. Now, my question on that is whether articulating all of those things as ethical principles and practices adds value to existing climate change discourse. And I think that remains to be seen, and it's something I'd be interested in exploring further. Thank you very much.